Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rewind and Reflect, where we believe in the universal truth that there's no such thing as coincidence or mistakes, and we're here to share that with you. My name's Deb Miller. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of last week when I was in charge of the music and I couldn't get it to stop, and we just flubbed it left, right, and all over the place. So here we are
Well,
again.
hi everybody, I'm Susan Doyle. So I'm laughing because I'm sitting here like bopping, going, kind of moving to the music, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm the one who
Yeah,
I'm the one who's supposed to be fading it out and totally forgot.
I
So
know. I was like, how long were we going to sit here for? So I'm
yeah,
just going to
and
start
I saw your
talking.
face and I'm like, oh God, here we go.
We will get it right eventually.
No, we won't. No, we won't. Don't set yourself up for with false
I
expectation.
know. It
We
has
won't
been a
ever get it
year.
right.
It has been a year and
Yes, it's been a full year.
year every
Good
week. We
Lord.
did it every single week. We
Mm,
got something
we
on
did
a
it.
Thursday. So,
And worked around a couple of vacations
mhm.
and an absence and all the things.
All the things.
I
We managed
know,
to
we
make it
did
work.
it.
And the great part about that is we have so many people who are like are volunteering to come on and co-host or join us in a conversation.
Hmm.
So we have a lot of this upcoming year, we're going to have a lot of guests on, which will be really
Yeah, we
fun.
already have a few lined up, one
Hmm.
lined up hopefully twice.
Hmm.
Um,
So off the
yeah,
top of my head, and then so we have off the top of my head, there's three people that we already have lined up. And
nice.
that's just, skimming the surface. There's other people that have reached out that I just haven't had a time to reach out back
Yeah.
to them. So, anyways, this is going to be a year of guests because I think people are probably, they know enough about us and they're probably like, all right, let's get some
Yeah.
other faces on
Yeah.
here. Enough already.
Let's get the hook stage left and drag them off.
They're overplaying the music on the stage.
Yeah, they don't know how to fade out the music. Oh my God, if like we had production people, then that would be better, but we don't
But we
yet.
don't.
We don't have the
We
budget for it quite yet.
Not yet. It's coming.
Mm-hmm. So have you
So
had another, I want to ask, because we're sort of following along with your hypnosis journey.
mhm.
Have you had another sesh?
So because of the holiday, my sessions are usually on Thursday, but because Thursday is Thanksgiving, I am seeing her today, this afternoon. So I don't
Oh,
have an update
nice.
from last week. Last week I filled everybody in on my first kind of hypnosis session, and today is going to be my second one. Now, one of
When
the
you come out
things
of your hypnosis, do you feel like do you feel rested, or do you feel like you did a lot of like emotional work subconsciously?
I
Are you
didn't
tired?
know because I I wasn't tired because I was counting backwards by threes from 100. Remember did I tell you that last week?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
told us that.
And
So
so
was
in
that
my
tiring for
mind,
your brain?
not tiring. It was just kind of, but I was very focused on making
Yeah.
sure, because that's a little bit of a difficult task, but
Yeah, so like when
um
you have a sustained period of focusing like that, sometimes it makes you tired.
yeah,
Or is that just me
I
because I'm
did not
stupid?
notice. No, I no, trust me, normally my brain would just turn into mush after
Yeah.
looking at numbers or talking numbers, but
Hmm.
I didn't, I was just like, okay, it's over. But again, what was interesting was I was so focused on in my mind doing the numbers,
Yeah.
and she's, putting messages into my subconscious. And then at the end, I mean, it's not long, maybe 15 minutes. And then at
Oh,
the
okay.
end, yeah,
I
because
thought
we
you
spend
were
a
gonna
lot
do
of
longer.
time doing dream analysis
Hmm.
and just how are you feeling? Like she has me put down 3 times a day, how are you feeling in the morning? What's your mood in the afternoon?
And
What's your
meaning
mood?
what? Like your mood, the way you
Yeah,
physically feel, like all of
both.
everything?
Yeah, yeah. Like yesterday, was it yesterday or? Sunday maybe. I don't know. I did not sleep well, and I woke up in a rage. I was I was
Maybe that's
so
me today. The alarm went off too
irritable.
early.
Yeah. And I was so and normally I can keep my emotions in check, but this day I could not. I was just like anything, any feeling that
Yeah.
I had came out of my mouth. And I just I didn't like that feeling. It's very uncomfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
then, so I wrote that down. I said, I woke up feeling tired and very irritable, and that feeling didn't really go away until the evening time. So she's having me write down all the things, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay.
still not tapering off my meds. She's
Okay.
telling me to wait until she feels that I'm ready. So
All right.
that should be a whole nother that should
That's all right.
put your seatbelts on, people, because I don't know what's going to show up here every week after I
You'll
start get take.
see.
I
Listen,
know.
I mean, here's the thing. You know what we spoke about last week. You're going down this road.
Hmm.
If you feel the need to turn around, turn around.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Just because you went down the road doesn't mean you have to stay on the road.
Yeah, I know.
Not a failure, it's not a whatever. It's just this is how it's going to be now.
Yeah, yeah. Because I certainly don't want to go through life feeling uncomfortable, but I'm very confident that this is all going to work out and I will be free of the medication. So, anyways,
That's good.
listen, I came
That's
across
good.
this little nugget on Facebook or somewhere, and I wanted to read it to our audience, and then I want to talk about it.
Sounds good.
So
Go
we're
for it.
going to do, okay. So this was, I think this showed up on, I don't know, one of my social media platforms. Nothing is a coincidence. No one crosses your path by chance. Some arrive as mirrors, some as medicine, some as messengers you won't recognize until the lesson lands. Every encounter shifts something, a belief, a boundary, a version of you that needed to die or be reborn. The timing is never random. The soul orchestrates what the mind can't explain. So pay attention to who appears when you think you're done growing. They might be the reminder, the trigger, or the key that unlocks the next door. I love that.
Interesting.
Um, I mean, we've always said like people come into your life for a reason and they leave.
Correct.
I've always believed that, even though I've never been able to recognize that until till lately, that every person that comes into your life comes in at a specific time and leaves at a specific time. And whether that's
Or
convenient
not,
for
or
you
doesn't leave.
or
Right.
doesn't leave, and right. But whether or not that is convenient for you at that moment, it doesn't matter because they're there
Right.
because they're meant to be there. But what really
So
got
who do you
me,
think is your mirror?
well, that's the thing. Some come in as a mirror, and that's the one that makes me uncomfortable because, you know, in AA that, a lot of times people will come into to a meeting and you just are irked by them for some reason. Or sometimes people are just irked by you and you're just like, what did I do?
Yeah.
But like my sponsor will say, that person is a mirror to you. There's something about them that reminds you of a part of yourself that you don't like.
So, okay, so basically your sponsor is saying because you're irked by them, there's something, okay, that is mirroring what you are either dissatisfied with or whatever
Mhm.
within yourself. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because when you read that, my initial thought was my mirror is 100% my daughter.
Oh, that's what you're thinking. Okay.
Well, not because she looks like me, but because I see myself in her, but I also see how more evolved and grown she is than I was, A, at her age, and
Mhm.
B, right now. So she really is an amazing teacher to me because of our similarities. I'm kind
Mhm.
of like, okay, well, like she's doing this. Well, then,
Mhm.
I should be able to do that because we're so much alike.
Yeah.
So but it's interesting what your sponsor said.
Yeah, so you're looking at like looking in the mirror and seeing somebody that's similar to you.
Hmm.
Where I look at it like if some yeah, the if I'm looking in at but I guess it could be both ways. Like I've always just
I
thought
guess, yeah.
like when I'm in the presence of somebody that's for whatever reason at all is bothering me, it's because they have an attribute that I have that I don't like about myself.
Yeah, and
Whether
I see it with my daughter is like she's got an attribute that or attributes that the majority of them, she's further down the road with them than I am
yeah.
or
So,
was at her age. And I admire that.
yeah. So you're
Do you know what I
looking
mean?
to mirror somebody that
Yeah. But I
you
also
can,
think, but on the way that you interpreted it, which is very interesting, is I can definitely see, I don't talk too much about my husband and what he does that drives me crazy, but I can definitely see the things that drive me crazy about my husband
Mhm.
are the things that I still need to work on,
Mm,
like my patience for
mhm,
sure.
mhm.
Um, Worked a lot on my anger, but I think maybe a couple of years ago, I could have been accused of going toe to toe with him in the anger department.
Wow.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's heavyweight.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how about you? What else? Who else?
Well,
Like, is it an actual person? Like, I know that, there are people out there like who walk into a meeting, but is there actually somebody in your everyday life that you're like, okay, this person is the things that I want to poke their eyes out about are the things that I see in
yeah, it's
myself that I
you
don't
know
really
what's
like.
yeah, it's the extreme people pleasers that I'm just like, why, you know, why can't you just say no or whatever? But I'm the same way.
Or the same reason why you can't say no. It's the same.
Exactly.
Agreed. A hundred
So it's like,
percent.
oh, come on, really? Like you're gonna be upset about this and but you have the power to make it stop. But
Yeah.
same. So it's the people pleasers, um it's the people who I don't know, like I don't want to say because this is not has not been a problem of mine. I'm the polar opposite of some people just thrive in chaos. And I don't. I shut down when I'm in a
Mm,
chaotic situation. But looking at them as a mirror kind of makes me feel like I can learn something from them as far
correct.
as not that I'm going to thrive in a chaotic situation, but how to rein in a chaotic
Be
situation.
okay.
Yeah, be
Right.
okay. Exactly.
Right. Like
So,
maybe you're sort of meeting them halfway between your reaction to chaos and their thriving in chaos.
right, right.
Yeah, I get that. I
And,
do have to say, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, and it's things about me that I would like to change, improve, or get rid of that irritate me in other people. It's true because like that's what for me, that's what a mirror is. You got to look in a
Yeah,
mirror
but so
and
here's
see
the thing,
yourself.
when you're looking into a mirror, like an actual mirror,
Yeah.
you have to see the good parts and the not so good parts. So, you know, that person that is mirroring you, I don't know, I'm having a hard time with that word, but
Mirroring.
um doesn't necessarily have to be the parts that need working on. It could be the parts that are really that you really enjoy about yourself.
Yeah.
It
And
doesn't have to be negative.
right. And I tell my sponsees a lot. I said, when you speak out loud, regardless of if you're talking to somebody else or talking to yourself, picture yourself looking in a mirror because what you say is a reflection of yourself. So if you're going to be all like, angry and bitter and da 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 da, like that reflection that's coming back at you. So speak nicely, speak nicely
Correct.
to yourself and speak nicely about other people. And it's not always easy because listen, we live in a life where everybody has different values or has been raised differently or has different um, intelligence, whatever.
Belief systems, all of it.
Yeah, there and a lot of and so it's hard to get along with people when we are all so different. But there
Hmm.
is always one part of us that is the same, and that to me is spirit, and
Yeah,
that's
I agree. I
uh
agree.
so
Yeah.
and then like it says every encounter shifts something, a belief, a boundary, a version you need to die or be reborn. So like that's what you're talking about with Olivia, like there's a version of
She
her
is a version of me in my eyes that is way more evolved.
evolved. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess evolved. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
she's, spiritually evolved and
Correct.
how old is Olivia now?
28.
Right. So at 28, you had two kids, right?
One with one on the way.
Yeah, okay. You weren't
Yeah.
really taking time out to, be
No.
spiritually connected. Exactly, because
No.
you
And
were running a
yeah,
business
and she has.
and
So I
she
guess
had.
maybe she is the recipient of my work that I do now, but she gets
Mhm.
to receive it 30 years prior to when I received it.
Right, right, right,
You
right,
know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it's
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then the other thing that they say, about people coming into our lives, they may be the trigger or the key that unlocks the next door. So even because we're triggered by somebody doesn't mean that they're not, that trigger was necessary to for
Yeah.
us to be able to unlock
Interesting.
the next door of growth, and listen, I if you sit back and you think about all the different people that have come in and out of our lives since
Hmm.
as far back as we can remember, and that have resurfaced or not, and they might resurface in the future. You don't know. Um,
Or
but
they resurface and you realize that they should have not resurfaced.
you're like, oh, now I
Now I
remember
know
why.
why you were under the surface for so long.
Yeah, but well, a
But
lot
yeah,
of
I get that.
people, yes,
Yeah.
and we have to. I don't know. I just feel like, our
There's no
higher,
coincidences.
no, right, and our higher selves understand what we need at any given time, and that's why we're gonna get exactly what we need. And a lot of times, it's painful.
Yes. Super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What's funny too is, you said the word trigger. A trigger does not always have to be negative. Like
Mm.
a trigger doesn't always have to have a negative outcome.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I keep thinking about uh when I was sort of in between yoga studios and I was like really kind of like I knew that there was something missing, right? And I used to listen to this, or I still listen to him, but I was listening to a podcast and the studio that I now go to, the owner, Brandon, was on the podcast And I said, okay, like there is a reason why he is on this podcast today
Mm-hmm.
at this time of year. You know what I'm saying? And so he triggered me to step over that. Should I go up there? Should I not? Because I was talking myself out of because it's like, it's a good 30 minutes away. I mean, when I do go to practice, it is like a 3 to 3.5 hour extravaganza out of my
Mm-hmm.
day, right? And it's a lot. Um, but he triggered in me that push I needed. So it
Mm.
wasn't like necessarily a negative trigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It triggered in me that conversation like, okay, he's on this podcast today. I am listening right now. This is not a coincidence. Like this is a sign for me to go up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has, really I've been there for a few years and I try and go at least every Saturday or Sunday. And it has been the catalyst for so many things that I have done, that I have gained, that I've worked on. So that trigger actually was super positive for me.
Yeah. I like that because the word trigger I feel like is very overused,
Well, it's
you know?
overused, but it's used in consistently in a negative connotation, like,
Yeah.
oh, that's triggering to me.
Right, right, right. Right.
Okay, well, work on the trigger then. So, but I also think that triggers can be positive, like something or
Can
someone
motivate you. Yeah.
can trigger you to motivate towards something that you thought was unattainable,
Yeah.
or you were buying into your internal conversation that, oh, it's too far away, it takes up too much time, blah blah blah, blah, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I get and I don't know if it's like I guess it could be called a trigger, but like when with certain smells and scents can transport me back to memories, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I guess in some way, so a trigger is a reaction to a word or a action that usually reminds you of something terrible that has happened, but it can also remind you of something
Right.
really, a past
Yeah,
memory that was very sweet.
exactly. Like, I would interpret a couple of the messages, text messages or whatever that we have gotten from people in our past about the show, trigger them back to a time that brought them a lot of joy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be. So there's a reason, to me, it was not a coincidence that, this person or these people chose to listen to this specific episode and, they were triggered, and again, I think the word trigger can also be, sort of swapped out with motivating
Motivating, yes.
rather
Right.
than, a trigger that brings you to your knees with, anxiety and painful and
Mm-hmm.
pain.
Mm. It can trigger motivation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
can you think of anybody that has resurfaced in your life that, I mean, besides me, obviously,
I was gonna say you.
but just like just in general that has come back in. I mean, I can think of a couple people that you and I have reconnected with together, and it's been fun, but nothing really grew out of that reconnection. A couple of people from high school, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing, whenever that reconnection happens, um, it triggers me into our childhood and our teenagehood. And to me, we really had like an idyllic childhood.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it was really great. So that type of reconnection, regardless of whether it lasts or not. But this person or these people have floated in as a reminder to be super grateful for where I came from.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really very grateful for where I came from.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I try as of late, the last 6 months to a year, to really not lose sight of gratitude. Um, but I think those people that float in and out, not by coincidence, it is my little tap on the shoulder of, okay, don't forget
Don't forget.
to, lead with gratitude, you know,
Right. I
kind of
have
thing.
a person at one, I mean, so as you know, like we grew up in Avon together, but my parents had a summer home down in Black Point and Niantic. And I just got word that a guy that I grew up with passed away suddenly from a pulmonary embolism. He was 56.
Oh my God.
And his wife is somebody that I've known, I grew up with as well, but we lost touch. I mean, I haven't been in touch with
Hmm.
these people in several years, but just hearing that, and of course, now that has caused a barrage of text messages from people I haven't heard from in a while. Did you hear about so and so? And oh my God, and how can we help? Blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
And the pictures start coming about, and it's like, oh my gosh, it just walked me back down memory lane. And two things, it of course it made me feel like, wow, life is so fragile. And so he was just at the doctor literally a week before and had a full health check, and he was fine. But like
Mm.
brain aneurysms and blood clots and
Yeah, and you
pulmonary,
don't know that they're
you don't
coming.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no
So it's like
symptoms.
that's how quickly it happened, and it happened. And he has a grandchild on the way like any day
Oh,
now, and it just,
wow.
it made me really think about how fragile life is, but also why, why do we lose touch with people, and why don't we
Yeah.
circle back? They were so important to us during a time in our life. And I get
Yeah,
it.
but they
Life
could have,
life
but
goes.
that, I mean, that's the non-coincidence part of it is they were there to either teach us something or mirror something within us. Not everybody is meant to stay,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
you
And
know.
there's no rhyme or reason. But I think with this particular, so you take this whole situation of the tragedy of this guy dying at such a young age, and but look at how many people it brought together, back
Right.
together. It was like, I'm hearing from people that I haven't heard from or seen in many, many years. And it's
It's
not a
heartwarming.
coincidence. It's because something is going to occur where these people are needed back in my life or whatever,
Correct.
and I'm
Correct.
not saying
Or
a
they're
bad thing
there
is
to
going to
teach
occur.
you
Yeah.
something, they're there to motivate you towards something. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
And maybe I'm just learning like how gracious people are, even though you lose touch with them for so many years, that they're still
Right.
happy to have you in their life,
Yeah.
happy to have you back. Um, so who knows? But it just, I can feel something shifting, that there's an opening here where people are going to be coming. I'm going to be reconnected with a lot more people.
Yeah.
And the tragedy of the situation made that happen. But of course, it's all timely.
Right. Right.
So, but I can. I think if you really look deep inside of yourself and you say, what is it that I want to change about myself? Or what is it that I want to improve? Or what is it that I want to let go of? And you name, let's just say three things. And you meet somebody who has one of those three characteristics.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
they are in front of you saying, don't forget, you've got to get rid of this. They're holding that mirror up and saying, don't forget, this no longer serves you. This behavior that I'm exhibiting no longer serves you. So that's what the constant reminder is. And when people come into AA early, we've got a lot of shit that we've got to sort through and get rid of. A lot.
I
That's
also think too, on that same avenue is I think people reappear or appear to, call attention to whether you have space or not for something new to come in. Maybe these people are reappearing to say to you, like, you need to clear space.
mm,
You're holding on to some things that no longer serve you. There's some opportunities here that if you don't let go of some things, so you're not going to be able to explore those possibilities.
yeah. Oh,
So I
that's
think
for
there's
sure.
definitely that, I think that definitely happens as well.
Absolutely. And you can't, the people that just accept all of the things that come into their lives and don't have space for them, can't pay enough attention to them to really make them grow
You
properly,
agree.
relationship wise, that is.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. And
Agreed.
sometimes, so that's one thing that I can get bothered by too. It's like, at this time in my life, I choose my friends and so carefully. I mean, this is a whole other subject, but like at this time in our lives, when we start meeting new people, how easy is it for us to let them in and trust them? Everybody has lived.
Nah, for me, I'm to the point at 58 where I'm like, if you're not bringing something to the table, like we can say hi and be acquaintances, but like I'm not giving a lot of my time away,
Mm,
right or wrong. I mean, that's sort of how it is. So but you have to kind of, I suppose I suppose with that mantra, I could be shutting some people out
yeah,
who
where we
may,
where we live here, and on Longboat Key, it's a lot of snowbirds. A lot of people come
hmm
down just for a season, and there's always stuff going on. Gatherings, people wanting to get together, da 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 da. And it just kind of opens up your social circles. But I have a hard time kind of like I have a hard time letting other like I love being around these people. They're lovely and I really do enjoy time with them. And it's nobody in particular. It's just I'm just thinking of a group of people.
yeah.
Um, but I wonder like at this age, will they ever be dear close friends? Or at this age, when you meet somebody, are they just kind of people that come in and out of your life? How do you form a
I
solid
think at this
friendship at this
stage of
age?
life,
Yeah.
I think at this stage of life, you can see whether or not a lot quicker than when you're 20s and 30s and 40s. You can see if that person is there with staying power or not.
Have you met somebody in the last 10 to 15 years that you didn't raise your kids with or grow up with, or have you met anybody that has become a dear, solid friend? Some from the time you were 45 on.
My husband,
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
that's about
Like,
it.
do we, at this, at
Actually, so so I did meet and become very close to two women who I did my yoga teacher training with, not this
Mm-hmm.
time, but last time. And that was, we finished like December of 2018, like right before the COVID shut down in March.
Mm.
And we became very close.
Are you still close with them?
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
see, how do you build a
No,
sustainable friendship at this point in our life?
I know.
I'm just, I'm just curious
Yeah,
if anybody else does, or if we just hold on to, because again, at this age, also, our kids are having children, and then we're into the whole grandparent thing. I mean, yours and mine
right.
aren't, but,
Right.
and then it becomes really about their family. And
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, I just
It's
wonder.
interesting to think about. But then then it begs the question of, is this just the way it is at this stage of life, or am I doing this to myself?
I think I'm doing this to myself.
I think there's a lot more of that for me than as well than the other.
Yeah, I think I am out of
Yeah.
fear of being let down, mistrust, the whole nine yards.
Mm. So it's interesting. It's like I don't have that mistrust. I don't. It's not, it's more like sometimes I feel like it might be just laziness. I'm like, whatever, you know. I don't
Yes,
know. I don't
but
know.
you,
I think it's someplace to look, though. I think it's someplace to explore for me.
I mean, I have a significant other that just thrives being around people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I am constantly meeting new people, doing new things, out with, and, a lot of times, I won't go. I'll stay home or whatever while he goes out and does his thing. But there's a lot of socialization here now and a lot lovely people that I'm meeting. But
Hmm.
I don't know, I get a little bit
Yeah.
skittish of, because you got to put the time and the energy into a friendship
Right.
to
And I
grow
think
it.
that's right. And that's where I kind of say it might be laziness. It's like,
Yeah. You're like, give me a text. Let's text every once a month and call it a friendship.
yeah. So read the whole thing again before
Okay.
we say goodbye.
Okay, stand by.
I am. Can we hit the music?
No, hold, please. Okay. Nothing is a coincidence. No one crosses your path by chance. Some arrive as mirrors, some as medicine, like that too. Some as messengers you won't recognize until the lesson lands. Every encounter shifts something, a belief, a boundary, a version of you that needed to die or be reborn. The timing is never random. The soul orchestrates what the mind can't explain. So pay attention to who appears when you think you're done growing. They might be the reminder, the trigger, or the key that unlocks the next door. I like it.
I love that.
I
I do love
like it.
that.
Yeah.
And the thing that just popped into my head is maybe at this age, it's harder to allow parts of ourselves to die just because that, I think it's that you've held on to it so long that it's even more uncomfortable to let that part of you die
Yeah.
to get something, to have something new flow
Mm.
in. And we, and so those people that flow in that were like, it's like, okay, it, and again, to me, for me, it's sometimes laziness. It's like, it's such a process to go through to sort of kill off that part of you that should have been killed off a long time ago or
Hmm.
let go of a long time ago. And that person appears or reappears and it's just like, oh, I
Yeah.
probably should have done this 20 years ago, but now I'm like tired. But,
Well, there's
There's,
so many things that we
there
just
is.
won't let go of because
Yeah.
of fear that, well, what if we don't have this anymore? What if we let go of the control? What if we let go of the wishful thinking? What if we let go of the whatever it might be?
Mm-hmm.
And and then we
Mm-hmm.
feel like we are giving up
The
part of who
right.
we are, but we're not. We're
Yes.
we're
Yes. So those
literally.
things become part of you when they shouldn't have in the first place, but it has been part of you for so long that you can't even envision or fathom a life or a relationship with a new person, old person, person that came back in, or person that's going out without that piece because it has
Mhm.
been so a part of you for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that file cabinet scenario that I talked, I think it was you and
Hmm.
Liz, maybe. I mean, you and Kristen, Liz,
Yeah.
where I'm like, my yoga instructor said, your life is like a file cabinet. It's stuck to you, and you continuously put files in and files in. And, you get to the point where you're dragging around this overflowing file cabinet and you never shredded any of the files that don't serve you any longer to
Hmm.
make room for another, maybe better file to be put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My my
Well,
um my mo my I call her my mother-in-law, but Heaven's mom just got a new computer, and she is or was an accountant for many, many years and CFO of a company, and she's just got one of those minds that never stops.
yeah.
And she needed a new computer. And so she reached out to Hunter, and Hunter said, okay, this is the computer I would suggest for you. And it was like it had all the gigabytes and da 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 da. And Joan said, fine. Well, she gets the computer, and then her and her daughter start putting things in it, and they realize they don't have enough storage. And so Hunter's like, the next storage up is 1T, which is
A terabyte.
terabyte, which he goes, I don't know what in the world she would need that much storage for. She's
Yeah.
83. And so I said to Katie,
She's going to be leaving some storage in her will to you. I leave the rest of my
I,
terabyte to
so,
Kevin and
so
Debbie.
I said to Katie, his sister who's helping the mom, I said, Hunter says this is an enormous amount of storage. What in the world would she? And she said she holds on to everything. And I said, well, maybe this is a good time for her to clean some of that
Purge.
out,
Yes.
purge. And
Yeah.
she said, well, I'm not going to be the one to tell her that.
Because here's the thing, you're never too old to create more space. That I do believe.
Yeah. Or
You know what I mean? So I
buy more
need to
space.
change. Yeah. I'm
If
not
it's
buying any more space,
well,
but I
that,
need,
some people just can't let
yeah,
go.
right.
Even though it's stuff that is so worthless and not important, it's like they just can't let go. So then they buy more space, and then that gets heavier and heavier and heavier.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so I just can't even imagine what she has on that computer that needs that much storage
I
space.
know,
But
right?
but
Gosh.
that's her thing, She just likes to keep
Mm.
everything. It to me that's very heavy, and even on a computer, I
It's
can't.
heavy, it's cumbersome, it's
It's not leaving space, opening space for new things.
right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
It's
what it comes
just
down
like it
to.
weighs you down, even though it's not emotional. It's just, yeah, it's an emotional sort of mindset. Yeah,
Yeah, but she's smart as a whip, man. She'll know exactly
good
where
for her.
everything is. I
Where
would
all
just
her
get buried.
terabytes are,
Yeah, exactly.
or where all her gigabytes are stored within that terabyte.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even believe I even knew what the T meant.
I know.
I'm probably wrong. I'm probably sitting here tooting my own horn and somebody's gonna like see this and be
No,
like, "You're an idiot."
I think you're right. I think it is a terabyte. That sounds right. That sounds familiar to me. So,
Oh
Anyways,
my goodness. All right. Well, coming up is some guests and some holiday
Christmas,
talk and
and
New
Hanukkah.
Year and the whole thing. I
Are
will
we all
not be
ready
New
for that?
Year's.
Are we ready for the holidays?
No, I told you yesterday when we were talking on the phone that I am a Grinch. I'm Grinch light.
Grinch light.
I'm
Yes.
not mean about the holidays. I'm not Grinchy about the holidays. I'm just one of those people that do not necessarily look forward to them.
Mm.
You?
I always have looked forward to holidays and Christmas, and not this year. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm
You're
annoyed. I'm
realigning.
annoyed with my Christmas decorations. I'm not happy with them. I want a new fake tree. We have the most, our tree is just as
The
cheesy as you
Charlie
can
Brown?
get. No,
The
it's
Charlie
just
Browner?
like this perfect like thing. And Kevin loves colored light, so it's all red and green and blue flashing. It's so cheesy and he just loves it. And so I have to keep it. And I'm just not feeling it this year, but maybe I will as we get closer,
Could it
maybe I'll.
possibly be that you put them up a little early?
No,
Okay.
I think what
I
happened
disagree, but
was,
that's like,
I know,
like if
but
you put
here's,
them up like 2 weeks before Christmas, you're like, woohoo, everything looks great. Let's go.
yeah. But what was happening with me is that I didn't feel like I would snap out of this if so I'm like
Yeah,
I better just do it while I have a minute,
right.
or else because if I don't snap out
Agreed.
of this and then we are getting closer to the holidays, I'm just going to say, you know what? Nobody's going to notice. I'm just not going to do anything this year. But
Agreed.
so
All right.
anyways,
Well, more to come.
more to come.
So no, I'm not really ready, but I know they're coming.
They're
So I'm
coming.
gonna do the best I can. I'm not gonna be
Amen.
Grinchy.
I won't let you be Grinchy.
All right. Love
Love
you.
you. Namaste, everybody.
Bye, everybody.